Welcome back, folks, to another episode of College Baseball live here from the College Baseball Show. Saturday morning show, folks. We're going to join you every single Saturday all season long here, brought to you by Just Baseball Media. I am joined by two of my great co-hosts again here. Jared Perkins, welcome back again. Another Saturday show for you, buddy.
Yeah, excited to be here. Suffered through the rain and the cold last night. Got my warm coffee this morning, so much better place to be in than the Maryland game last night.
That's fair. Being indoors is a little bit better than it was there. We'll talk about that USC-Maryland game. And then Zachary Symm joining us for the first time on the Saturday show. Welcome in, buddy.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, happy to have you again. You know, folks have watched him a lot. We've been doing the Thursday show together quite a bit. He's coming in joining us as our Saturday guest picker this week because Texas has a big series that we will talk about, get into it. But the first thing, big news, Grand Canyon making a coaching change. The second big program to make a coaching change in the middle of the season. It's wild. I'll let you start on this one, Jared, since I know that you want to start on this one, and I'll go to Zach. Just crazy what's happening mid-season here in college baseball.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a shock, not a shock, just because like Grand Canyon was off to an 8-18 start this year, and the expectations for that program, even being a mid-major, is that they're going to win baseball games, right? That they've always kind of been a program that under the Stankiewicz era were really good, and then Wallis came in, and I think the expectations were high for there. It's kind of also interesting because like he's had over 30 plus wins in the 3 seasons prior to this one. I think 37 was the cap that he had. I just think this is a trend we're kind of seeing in coaching in college baseball, college sports. You have to win, and if you don't win, you're out the door, whether it's like in the midseason. I think that's something that's been interesting as well. We're seeing more midseason firings where we never really saw that. Usually the coaches were able to get through the entire season, and then they would make a coaching change at the end of the season. But we've seen it a lot more. We saw it last year with Mississippi State with Lamonis. We've seen it this year already with Palminieri. And now you have Gregg Wallis. He's gone out of Grand Canyon.
Listen, you almost have to make these moves. If you decide that this is the right thing for your university, you have to make the move early so you can go get the right coach. Look what Mississippi State did. They went out and got the right coach because they had it at the right time. You have to be able to recruit. You have to be able to be ahead of the NIL issues and be able to go out there and go get guys. Zach, this is a big move. I know there's some big names that are in talks here.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously the two big names that I've heard are Sean Allen and Jack Martyr from Oregon. And I honestly think both of them would be home run hires. Allen has a long-time assistant, but he's had a lot of experience both in the Big 12 and out West. And then he's got the connections out there now because he's been kind of working out in the USC scene, and he's proven himself. I mean, everyone sees what the USC staff is doing. And then Martyr, he's been one of the top assistants out there for quite some time. And it's logical for him to kind of take that job unless he's waiting for just something bigger. But it'd be a good standing place because they invest in baseball at GCU.
Yeah, and the statement that they made when they put it out and said, hey, we're moving on, they were very adamant that we're a top 25 program. We want to be that. We're going to put money into this. We're going to get the right players. We're going to get the right facilities up and running. Like, the fact is, hey, they're going to put money into it. It's a great program. They're going to go get a home run hire. I like both those guys. I think either one of them would be a tremendous hire for these. It might be hard to go get Martyr from Oregon at this point, like unless it's got to be a pretty good job. But again, if they can go get him, I think that'd be a tremendous hire for them. Let's talk about the games here. Miami and Clemson, they've split now. 8-3 the first game and extras, 6-7 last night. Miami wins and Thursday on the 10, and then Friday night. This sets up a huge rubber match here. Jared, both of these teams need this. Like, this is, if one of these teams, the loser of this puts himself in a really bad spot in ACC play. Nope. Jared, did you freeze?
Yeah, I think I'm frozen. So, yeah. Hold on. There. I think I'm back now. Am I back?
You're back.
Oh. All right. Cool. Yeah, having some connectivity issues over here. But no, I think the one thing that's kind of interesting about this series, this is a series that I think Will mentioned that Clemson has to win this series because we're kind of wondering what Clemson is at this point. They kind of lose that game in the first game against Miami on that error. That's kind of been the story, I feel like, somewhat for Clemson, is like the defense hasn't been fantastic. The pitching staff hasn't lived up to the expectations that, like, Aiden Canuck hasn't been your Friday night ace that you kind of want and need. I just have some questions about like what this Clemson team is. I don't think I can't remember. We dropped them out of the top 25, which seems fair at this point. If they lose this series to Miami, you're still kind of wondering.
Yeah, and it says, where are you at with here? Because the fact is, Clemson is going to be 2-6 right now. If they lose All of a sudden, they're 2-7 in conference play. There's no chance they're coming back from that with how good the ACC is at the top end this year. So, and same like size on the other side for Miami. If they lose this, they're 3-6. Like the 3-6 with these two teams would not be good enough, and it would be a really tough spot for both these teams here. Talking about the other side, let's go to Texas and Oklahoma. Oklahoma, man, Zach, they were right in this thing, and Texas finds a way to win. Like Texas just looks like it's inevitable.
Yeah, it definitely felt that way. But it was funny, through the first 7 innings, Cam Johnson did just enough to keep Texas off. He'd walk 2 guys, and then get out of it with a double play. And it just felt like, man, it's coming down and coming down, and Texas is kind of building momentum, and then it, kind of broke open. But yeah, it's been a fun series. You kind of expected after that just beating on Thursday night that it was going to be a super tight affair. Makes you interested to see what happens today. Again, we've said it before, a little unfair. They got Volantis going against a true freshman on the other side. So we'll see.
Yeah, and that was the tough part, right? Like it felt like Oklahoma had to win one of these first 2, and they got blown out in the first one. And then Cam Johnson gives them a great start last night. And you're like, okay, this is what they needed. And then when they couldn't close the door, it was like, hey, giving up the tying run in the 9th and then losing in extras. It really felt like, all right, what is this Oklahoma team? Are they as good as we think they are? Are the opponents they've actually beat, are they actually that good? Like, how good is Texas A&M? How good are these teams? But I think that most people are going to struggle at Texas this year. So I'm not going to throw too much shade on this Oklahoma team because it did go toe-to-toe last night. And tonight is going to be really tough with Volantis. Like, that's just not a good matchup. Nobody's winning a lot of those third game of the series against this young man. So,
and the other crazy thing is Texas has used 1 bullpen arm. And Coach said last night, he's available again today. And that's Cozart, the freshman. So you got the full arsenal ready to go to see if they can put it together. So
you still got Grubbs and Burns. Like, you got guys just waiting to come in and say, hey, we're ready to go, throw 100 miles an hour and go get these guys out. So Jared, you wanted to throw something in on that one?
I was going to say, I feel like every time you play Texas, you have to win the first 2 or else you're going to lose against Volantis on Sunday. I mean, and it's not easy to beat Ruger Riojas or Luke Harrison. Like, both those guys are absolute studs on the mound too. So it just, like, we've talked about it kind of ad nauseum at this point about, like, Texas has the best rotation in college baseball. I don't think it's really an if, and, or buts right now at this point. You could say Florida State's kind of close and there's a couple other teams, but no one has, like, the Sunday guy that Texas does in Dylan Volantis.
No, and there's a lot of 1-2 punches you could argue, be like, hey, Florida, Oregon State, there's teams out there, but the problem is Sunday. Like, you're looking, you go, even if you pitch off, you're not pitching off to good. Like, that's not going to work for you, and it just gets even tougher. So big one there for Texas here is they go for the sweep in the rivalry game. Kentucky at LSU. Kentucky 7, LSU 4. Good to see Tyler Bell back at shortstop for Kentucky. A huge win on the box. Jackson Jelkin, man, this guy's been just really, really good for Kentucky. 8 innings, 2 runs. Ethan Hindle for Kentucky, the 3 hits on the day. LSU is now 2-5 in conference and sitting at 14th. Jared, sitting at 14th, and we're 7 games in now.
Yeah, I mean, I really, really love this Kentucky team, and we had them preseason ranked as well, and I know a lot of outlets didn't have them preseason ranked. I just what they brought back on the mound, I think, got overlooked. And then they brought in Jackson Jelkin as well, that he mentions just kind of turned into a Friday night ace. And it's like they brought so many innings back with Nate Harris and Ben Cleaver on the mound. And it's just like you have a star player in Tyler Bell, which you need to have. Ethan Hindle, like you mentioned, has absolutely mashed the baseball this year. Like everything Kentucky is doing is running in the right direction. And so you have to be happy if you're Mingione and watching this team play every day.
100%. And Zach, at what point though does LSU go? The offense is gone. Pitching wise, like you're seeing their ace just struggle. It's like walk after walk, and that was not, Casey Evans. You're going, okay, this guy's going to be an ace. Everybody thought he was going to just step into that role, and we had the discussions like, if you haven't done it, it's hard on Friday nights in the SEC.
It's very different, yeah. And I thought maybe Kassan had turned a corner last weekend against OU. I mean, 15 strikeouts, and he looked like everyone thought he might. But yeah, he just cannot find the repeatability, and his delivery just seems out of sync inning to inning. And that team's in trouble, because if they can't hit properly, they're gonna struggle the rest of the year. It's not looking great in Baton Rouge right now.
And only one win at home so far in SEC play, like that's tough. When you're losing,
I mean, they don't even have the box magic, and that's crazy to think.
Yep, it's wild, and they're gonna have to figure something out here because 2-5 is not the start they're looking for. And I don't know how many times I can say it. Like, this is eerily similar to that 2024 team. It just feels like that all over again. It feels like a complete repeat of that exact team.
Yeah.
Struggling to start the season off, struggling in SEC play, struggling in these Tuesday games, trying to find their way pitching. The offense has been all over the board. Like, they've had flashes, but man, they got to figure it out. NC State at Georgia Tech. We got a pitching duel, which I don't know if any of us really thought was going to happen. I looked across the boards going, okay, where's the runs? Where's the runs? I'm like, oh, this must be early. No, 3-1 win for Georgia Tech. Good for Georgia Tech to finally have like the arms perform at that high of level. Interesting because I know NC State's got great Friday night starters and they've got great pitching staff, but Georgia Tech only 3, but holding NC State to 1, that's got to mean something here in this one, Zach.
Yeah, and Georgia Tech scored their first 2 runs in the first inning. Like,
yep.
To go that long without giving up NC State more runs was shocking to me because I really like the bats from NC State. So the fact that it was that tight of a game is, I guess, part impressive, but also it's an interesting like data points. Like, can Georgia Tech's bullpen kind of turn things around and get things in the right direction after they've struggled recently?
Yeah, I think it was a huge move moving Mason Patel to the bullpen. Like that move, moving him from the starter role on Saturdays and saying, hey, we're going to put you back in a spot where you're most successful, and it is paying off right now. It's paying off in a big way. So that was a huge win for Georgia Tech. And NC State now, you start looking around going, the losses are starting to pile up now. Granted, at Florida State, at Georgia Tech, that's not fun for anyone. That's a brutal way to start ACC play. But they got to figure out a way to win games. And when you hold Georgia Tech to 3, that's like your chance. That feels like your opportunity to win a game when you hold Georgia Tech to 3. So that's
the problem for State is it doesn't get any easier. They have Notre Dame next weekend. So, I mean, it's just the ACC continues to stack teams against you like that.
Yeah, and NC State's ACC run is hard this year. It is a stacked up, top end, heavy ACC build for them. So they got to go find some way to win one of these games at Georgia Tech. I feel like to be in the hunt still for ACC play, and they're still probably a top 25 team. But at some point, they got to win games. Otherwise, you have to drop them out and say maybe this team isn't a top 25 team. We know what the talent is, but they're not winning enough games for me. Mississippi State at Ole Miss. Ole Miss hits a huge home run, and you go, all right, they're going to hold on. And then Mississippi State crawls all the way back and wins this one 5-4. Jared, huge win for Mississippi State on the road and showing why they are probably still a top 5 team, maybe.
Yeah, I think the huge thing is you don't have Ryan McPherson. You're in one of the most hostile environments in the SEC, in a rivalry series, and you pull out a Friday night win. Like, I think that just kind of sums up and tells you all you need to know about this Mississippi State team and how good they are. The fact that they can go and do that, I think it's huge. The lineup depth is insane for this team from top to bottom. The pitching staff and the bullpen has looked really good. Like, Dane Burns has been fantastic for them. I just really, really love this Mississippi State team. And it's like, okay, now you got Tomas Valencius going today. And it's just like, he's been lights out for them. And so like you get that 1-0 lead with not even having your Friday night ace going, like things are looking up. And I think you had mentioned it, Mark, on the last podcast or on the preview podcast about how like if Mississippi State wins Friday, they're probably winning the series or they're going to sweep the series.
Yeah, because that was the opportunity, right? You get Ole Miss gets Hunter Elliott versus a relative unknown starting pitcher in the SEC for a Friday, and they don't go win that game somehow. Like now you're going, okay, now we get Valencius. That's not easy. And then Duke Stone on Sunday, who's been terrific. That doesn't get any easier for you guys. And we all know that Ole Miss kind of gets a little softer as we go through the rotation. And now you're in a really bad spot if you're Ole Miss at home here trying to win those games. But big win on the road for Mississippi State in a rivalry game.
I will say Ole Miss has Kate Townsend going on Sunday.
So, he's going to go on Sunday, which was a big thing. Like, we didn't know if he was going to pitch. And we still don't know how much he's going to throw. They haven't said, like, if they're going to limit his innings or anything. But the fact that he is going on Sunday gives you a little bit of breath of life, especially if they can go out and figure out a way somehow to win today. Maybe offensively going out there, but it doesn't get very easy here for Ole Miss. Florida at Arkansas. Florida 9, Arkansas 4, and a very Liam Peterson-esque start with 4 innings pitched. 1 hit, great. 6 walks, 7 strikeouts. You're going, okay. But the thing for me, Zach, when I look at this, I talked about it so much. Arkansas, 16 strikeouts at the plate. The swing and miss is brutal. They only had 5 hits, and 3 of those came in the 8th inning. This team is like lost some games at the plate.
Yeah, it felt like to this point, the hitting has been off, but the pitching's been good, and it's kind of carried them. And last night with Gackle kind of imploding early, it was like, like this is not good news for them. And even though Liam had 6 walks and 7 strikeouts, like really kind of Liam type start, but very uncontrolled chaos. You would think that Arkansas would be able to take advantage of that, and they kept getting out of it. And you're like, man, where's the big time hit going to come from? And it feels like they're missing that glue guy that just like, okay, I'm going to get the big hit. This is going to help us power forward. And I worry about that Arkansas batting lineup continually. It just doesn't look the same.
No, and Helfrich hits the solo shot, and you're like, okay, well, there's a home run, and he kind of does this. It almost feels like A-Rod home runs, like they don't matter, like they're being hit in spots where like, yeah, nobody's on base, it's not a big deal. Like it hurts because you want people to be on base for him. Mike Anu, he goes out there and starts hitting the ball. He's been better as of late, but then the rest of the lineup kind of been faltering. So it's just really tough when you're looking at it as a whole for Arkansas right now. Pitching staff's been good, but I think we all said at some point Keichel's going to really blow up and there's going to be an issue and he's not going to, and then they're going to have to go to the bullpen early. That's what they did. Now you're already in a bad spot because now the bullpen arms have already gone for you. If you're Arkansas, you're trying to stay in that baseball game.
Oh yeah.
Now you got 2 more tough ones and you got to figure out ways to win at home. Like that's just what you have to do in SEC play, especially with Florida coming off of getting swept at Alabama, like back-to-back road series for Florida. Big win for Florida. And now they get Aiden King going tonight against a lineup that just struck out 16 times last night. I think that you got to like where Florida's at on this one, but very interesting there, especially with the 3 of the 5 hits coming in the 8th inning for Arkansas. West Virginia at Arizona State. Wow. I'll say Garland and Montesa, not great. Like what we were expecting. Like, hey, these are the 2 aces. Neither one of them was very good. But the difference is both teams had 13 hits, 2 home runs apiece for Harrison and Contreras. Like that was the difference. Like those 2 guys hitting the 2 home runs says, hey, that was the difference because the extra base hits were not there for West Virginia. They haven't really been there all season, Jared. Arizona State, big win at home, big statement saying, hey, we're right there. You may not believe this, but they're not in first place in the Big 12.
No. I mean, again, based on who they face and things like they've had K-State and West Virginia like to start Big 12 play. Those
and
are
TCU.
pretty. Yeah, and TCU. So huge series. I mean, this Arizona State team, man, like this ASU team is a ton of fun. Like you mentioned, they have Cole Garland, who's the Friday night ace. Like he struggled a little bit last night, but the offense, like Landon Harrison, I don't think everybody's not talking enough about this kid. I think you're now looking at potentially the top prospect for the 2027 MLB draft. Like Dax Whitney will be up there as well, but Landon Harrison is making
a case. Top position player to me. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. He's slashing 470, 557, 970 with 11 doubles, 13 home runs, 42 RBIs, 17 walks to 11 strikeouts. That's in 26 games total. He's got 8 stolen bases on the year too. And then he goes and makes a diving catch out in the outfield last night as well. Landon Harrison has been just an absolute stud for this Arizona State team. I had like questions about the power because he didn't hit a ton of home runs last year. And then this year he's just come out and this has 24 extra base hits total. He's just been awesome. And then the whole team as a whole is hitting 334. They got 52 home runs, 108 RBIs. Or no, sorry, 228 RBIs. This team has been going absolutely bonkers on the offensive side of the ball. It's just been impressive. And like you're getting a lot from this bullpen too. So the starting arms haven't been fantastic. Like they've tried putting Alex Overbay into the rotation, hasn't really kind of panned out right the way they wanted it to. So he might go back to the bullpen because he was just dominant there. But the bullpen arms have been kind of picking up the starting rotation and kind of keeping teams at bay as the offense just continues to kind of rake against all these other teams. So Willie Bloomquist had a lot of money to spend in this year in the transfer portal. He goes and gets guys like Dean Toigo, Dominic Longo, a few others, and it's really started to pan out for them.
Yeah, they've gone out and got a lot of players, and they've been very, very good. And that's kind of what you look at. They go get the 2 of the best players from Cal as well, and Mutsarinas and Smaldino, and you're like, you're just adding bats and adding talent. What they've done, if they can figure it out pitching wise on the weekend, watch out because this team can hit with anybody in the country, and they've been able to pitch their way out of problems. Like 13 hits, but only 4 runs. They're pitching their way out of jams, which is an important thing. And the bullpen's been really, really good, as you mentioned.
All their bullpen relievers have around a 2 ERA. So you do it either way, right? If you're going to be okay, well, we're going to get a few innings out of our starter, and Garland's been usually good for them on Friday, which gives them a huge opportunity to be good the rest of the weekend. We're going to see because now those arms are going to be stretched a little bit more the rest of this weekend. But big win to start off at home there and beating West Virginia's ace. Auburn at Alabama, Zach, 11-1. Alabama bats are back. Like that is the only thing you can really say.
Yeah, this was a wild game because I just obviously got to see Auburn last weekend, and after seeing Marciano, I was like, okay, what is that matchup against the Alabama bats going to look like? And he held his own, like they stayed in there, but Alabama just continued to pound the ball and pound, and finally they started coming in, and it was like, okay, this is not good news because that Auburn back end didn't look good at all. I think it sets up a really interesting series overall because Alabama's had a very up and down season, but you go win this series, all of a sudden they're kind of right back in there for Rob Vaughn and kind of back into the talking points in the SEC.
Yeah, you get swept on the road at Kentucky to start, but then you go and sweep Florida, and you're like, all right, we're right there. And then you win this first game against the top 5 Auburn team.
Yeah,
and you do it in a convincing way. Faye really good again. If that's the performances you're going to get from Faye on Friday nights in SEC play, the bats are alive. This is a good Alabama team. They're going to compete. This is a top 25 team to me. I know I voted them in the top 25 last week. This is a team that should be in the top 25. You start looking around going, if they're going to win Friday night games like this convincingly, shutting and no hitting Florida last Friday and then putting one up against Auburn, like that's enough to tell me, hey, this is a real contender for the SEC.
But for Auburn, I think the bigger question is that lineup seems to run hot and cold a lot. Like they're either really, really good or they're very cold, but it's always in stretches. And so you don't know what you're going to get throughout. And they got to find more consistency because that lineup is way too good to have the inconsistencies that you typically see from them.
100%. And the pitching has been what's carrying them. And now, like, you're starting to see a little bit of, okay, maybe they're not as elite as we thought they had started this season. And if they're not, the bats have to come alive and be more consistent. That's a big thing. It almost feels a lot like Arkansas. Like, honestly, it feels a little bit like Arkansas where we know the talent's there, but it's just been inconsistent at that point. Speaking of inconsistency, Tennessee goes to Vanderbilt, in-state rivalry. It feels great that we're having like rivalry week this early in SEC play, but Tennessee 2, Vanderbilt 3. Big win, Jared, for Vanderbilt, but man, Tennessee bats are just absent.
I don't know what to make of either of these teams. I feel like I don't think Vanderbilt's a top 25 team, and I don't at this point think Tennessee is a top 25 team. Tennessee might be 19-4, but they're 3-4 in conference play. They've lost the series to Kent State. I just don't know what to make if this offense doesn't show up, right? They're not only getting production from like Manny Marin and Henry Ford. The pitching staff has been fantastic, though.
Great.
You got a team 3, I think like a 3.34 ERA or something like that as a team. Tegan Coons was fantastic, even though he moved into kind of a bullpen role for them yesterday, 4 1/3 of 1-run baseball. Like, if you're only giving up 3 runs, like you got to win that game. Like, they aren't even like, I don't know. It's just insane. Like, this offense, like Tennessee has been known for having just absolute mashers and being able to put up runs, and they're just not doing it this year. And I think that's kind of the biggest concern for them as they continue through SEC play is like, is that offense going to show up?
I have big concerns. Like, it's just too inconsistent. Henry Ford's been terrific, as you mentioned. Like, he's been really good. Manny Marin has been a surprisingly huge piece for them. Like, we thought, he's going to be consistent. He's been better than consistent. He's been really, really good. The rest of that lineup is just absent. Like, it feels like they're just swinging. They could go up there with tennis rackets and not hit the ball right now. That's how it kind of feels in Tennessee. They got to figure something out.
The thing for me is this is almost a must-win series for them.
Yeah.
They have LSU next weekend, but if you look at the rest of their schedule, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Bama, Kentucky, Texas, and Oklahoma, that gets real scary real fast if you're Tennessee.
6 top 10 teams right now. And you don't want to be there. I mean, and Alabama, who's not in the top 25 in some, but should
pitching
be.
well. And I mean, that gets scary for Tennessee very quickly.
That could turn sideways really fast. That could, I mean, we might be looking at that series with LSU as saying who's going to finish 14th in the SEC. Like, that's not a good spot to be right now if you're Tennessee. And losing on the road at Vanderbilt, because I agree with you, Jared. I don't think either one of these teams is really a top 25 team. They haven't really performed like it. Coming into this one, Vanderbilt was in the 150s in RPI. Like, they're not there. Kansas at Cincinnati. Cincinnati wins this one 5-0. Big matchup here in the Big 12. Jack Natale hits a triple in the 6th and then a bomb in the 8th and leads the Bearcats. Nathan Taylor has been really, really talented for Cincinnati on Friday nights. He goes up there 7 innings, 6 hits. 3 walks and 9 Ks. Big win for Cincinnati at home there, Zach. Like, these are the kind of wins that they need to have if they want to get back in the race for the Big 12.
Yeah, they stumbled early, but it feels like they've got the hitting to do it, and they've got the star power, right? They got Coates out there just continuing to hit potatoes everywhere. So it'll be interesting to see how they fare against some of the rest of the schedule. But I mean, I think if they beat Kansas, that sets them up really well to kind of storm back and position themselves at the top of the conference.
Yeah, I agree. I think that this is the game that they need to go win this series. Like, figure out a way to win today. You feel pretty good about yourself. If you sweep, you're feeling in a really good spot. On the flip side, Kansas has to start finding wins also. Both these teams are sitting at 4-3, and they're both feel like they're still contenders for this Big 12. And they are, but they got to go get wins. And Kansas has been really tough on the road. They have not had a good series on the road. They've been really having a hard time, especially hitting-wise on the road. They got to figure it out. And it doesn't get very easy in Cincinnati. It's not an easy spot. Bishop Ball's alive and well in Cincinnati as the Bearcats go to win. Virginia, Boston College, and I know people thought I was insane on Thursday by saying I'm calling BC to win this series. And I said everything that happened. Colarusso shines, 6 innings pitched, 0 earned runs. They go out there and they battle. BC is now 7-3 in ACC play, winners of 8 straight, tied for second with Georgia Tech, Jared. This BC team's for real.
Yeah, I hate to say it. I mean, like, not hate to say it, but like they've been impressive. I think Monty's been like beating the AJ Caruso drum all season long, and so just to see him go out there, it's been fun to watch, man. And it's like, will they win the series? I don't know. I mean, your pitching staff has got to keep that Virginia lineup at bay for Saturday and Sunday, which is not easy. But hey, you take it Friday night, like, you have to be super excited there if you're Boston College. And if they pull off this series win, like, are we looking at a top 25 team in the future? I don't know. I think they got to showcase a little bit more. But yeah, you get a big series win here, and you continue to roll in ACC play. Things are looking up for Boston College.
If it's me and I look at Boston College, if they end up sweeping this week, you have to put them in the top 25, because then you're talking about 10 straight wins, and you're talking about a team that is 9-3 in ACC play and has put themselves in a conversation. Virginia was a team that were like, these are world beaters. They hit off of everybody, and then they don't. They go get 3 runs here. And we know that there's struggles on Sundays for Virginia where they just have been getting out hit because they don't have the pitching. If that continues here and they lose this series, that's a huge home win for Boston College. And Virginia is still looking at question marks on the pitching side. Like, they still don't have all the answers pitching wise, and they're going to have to figure that out for the rest of ACC play.
You look at the BC overall stats, and they're like not like incredible.
It's just average.
Like,
it's
on the hitting
average
side and on the pitching side, it's just like nothing stands out to you, but they're doing it.
But they win games, and they're in. It feels like they're in every single game. It feels like they're never out of it. And again, last night even was still the same thing. Like, yeah, it's a 5-3 win, but they were leading the whole time. They just kind of held on to it, leaned on the pitching staff. Colarusso was great again. So tremendous effort there. I'm going to rattle through a few scores here real fast. Georgia beats South Carolina 5-2. Nebraska continues its winning ways, winning 6-5 at home against Indiana, a really tough Indiana team. Missouri State goes on the road and loses at Dallas Baptist 4-5. We had that one was one of our series picks. I think everybody except for one, Zach, took Missouri State as Dallas Baptist wins this one. I just didn't think the Dallas Baptist was going to have the bats to stay with it, but they actually pitched really good last night, which is something that they have not done on Fridays this year very much.
True.
So it's good to see from Dallas Baptist and that Hefner team. Let's talk about Oregon at UCSB. And I highlighted the crap out of this one, saying you're talking about a top 5 matchup with Will Sanford and Jackson Flora. These are 2 very, very talented arms. Will Sanford's going to be talked about for the 2027 draft. His stock is going to continue to rise. He's been really, really good. Jackson Flora is probably going to be the number 1 pick as a right-handed pitcher from college this year. And Oregon goes away out there and finds a way to win. And they don't do it off of Flora, but the bullpen for UCSB gives it the runs. Jack Brooks hits a home run in the 7th there for Oregon as they win this one 4-0. But, man, the Duck bullpen, the Duck arms have been just so good. Zach, when we look at this, you go, we talked about it. Hey, is Oregon good? We thought they'd hit. We didn't know what we're going to get from the pitching side. The pitching's continued. Like, early in the season, we're like, okay, maybe it's fluky. Maybe no. This weekend rotation for the Ducks and the bullpen, Devin Bell has been just a lifesaver out of the bullpen for them coming in to close those games out.
Yeah, what they put together from a bullpen perspective is awesome. And it really felt last night like if they could just survive Flora, you really like their chances, because UCSB has been questionable at the back end of games at times. But from Oregon, I mean, yeah, it's really fun to see them continue to perform and put up zeros. And it's just in a dynamic staff. They bring a lot of different shapes, a lot of different arm types in, and they just find a way to win.
Yeah, it feels like the folks that are out there scoreboard watching, they're going, hey, they haven't really been impressive. I'm like, but you got to see the way that they've been winning baseball games. And that's the impressive side to me, is how good the pitching has been.
Pitching and defense wins you a lot of games.
Yeah. And they have that. They have, and their superstar shortstop, Max Maloney, hasn't even been the superstar so far this year. Like, he's been good, but he hasn't been that superstar for them yet. And if he turns it on, look out, because this team could just skyrocket in the top 10 pretty easily. A team that is in the top 10, UCLA, 5-2. Redmond, great. Ho-hum, 500-foot home runs from Brennan. Like, Jared, you look at this, you go, it's just another win, but it's 17 great.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about UCLA was going to dominate the Big Ten, and they're going to dominate the Big Ten. Like we saw what they did when they're in Arlington against some of the top competition in the SEC. They dominated that weekend. I don't think there's many Big Ten teams that are any close to any of those SEC teams, except for maybe Oregon. Or sorry, yeah, for Oregon and USC. So just UCLA offense is really good. The pitching staff also really good. The bullpen. Also very good. Like everything that UCLA does, it's why they have not lost the number one spot, because until they show that they have like any kind of weakness, and they're not probably going to do that in the Big Ten, they're going to be at that number one spot, even if Texas is like breathing right down their backs.
Yeah, and I have a hard time because I think, we lump Oregon in with this UCLA team, but I think there's still even a little gap there between UCLA and Oregon.
I do agree.
And it drops down and you go, okay, that gap now grows between like the USCs and the Nebraskas. I put Nebraska right there with USC. I know USC's start's been hot, but Nebraska's been playing good baseball too, and I put those guys in that next tier. But then it's quite a difference there. And so, if you're UCLA, it's a long time before they really face a whole lot of competition here for the rest of the season. So they're just going to continue to have to win baseball games. Speaking of USC, 11, or actually, you know what? Let's go to Pitt and Louisville first, and then I'll jump because I want to get back to Jared on that USC game since he was there live. Pitt and Louisville, Zach. Louisville just can't find ways to win. Like another win for Pitt, which is great. They've been great. They've been battling, not usually the Pitt way of hitting only 4 runs there. They win 4-3. Louisville can't get out of their own way. They seem to be just going the wrong direction. They finally got some pitching, but they can't hit now.
Yeah. I mean, that was the thing, is like I was excited to see this matchup because of the way Pitt's been hitting the ball.
Yeah.
But Louisville finally they showed up well, but all of a sudden they couldn't swing to save their lives last night. They couldn't put hits back to back. It was just like, what's going on? Like, this team just feels very just kind of over it at this point. It doesn't, I don't know. It's not the typical Louisville team you see, because there's no fight in this team that you've seen in the past.
Yeah, and I highlighted this one and said, Louisville has to figure out ways to start winning ACC series. And then they finally get a pitching performance, and then they can't go out and hit. Like, it's almost heartbreaking at this point when you look at this Louisville team.
Yeah.
Like, the talent is there. They have so much talent on both sides of the ball, and they finally put it together on one side, and they can't put it together on the other side. And this season's getting away from them quickly. Like, we're already deep into the season now. We're halfway point, and at some point, you have to start winning baseball games, and Louisville has just not been able to compete at high enough level here. USC and Maryland, let's talk about it, Jared. 11-10, but the weather was miserable there. USC does hold on to win, but it's starting to look like, is this the weather that was causing these issues, or do you think that maybe we're just starting to see USC be humanized?
I mean, USC throughout that game was up like 10 to. I thought they were going to 10-run rule Maryland until like very late in the game. I left in like the 5th inning because it was freezing. Like Mason Edwards was done. I think Burke and I both left. We were just like, it's miserable. Then I was watching it when I got home, and Maryland started storming back against the bullpen. But I truly think a lot of these arms just won from USC. You're not playing in that weather on a day-to-day basis. It was rainy. It was cold. Every pitcher, even all the Maryland pitchers, were struggling with control. I sent this to Tyler at the beginning of the game because Lance Williams came out there for Maryland in the 1st inning. It was walk, hit by pitch, fielder's choice, ground out, which led to a run, single, which led to 2 runs, walk, hit by pitch, wild pitch, 3 runs, walk, 4 runs. So and then Edwards came out there in the bottom of the 1st, and he only gave up 1 run, but he I think walked the first 3 guys. So yeah. The balls were wet. Like Edwards was asking for a new baseball, like every other batter, it seemed like, just because no one could get a grip on the baseball. Like there's a ton of hit by pitches. Like it wasn't a good day to be a pitcher. But he still struck out 10, Mason Edwards. So I think that I had tweeted it out. He got all his outs on strikeouts except for a double play ground ball and a ground out. So every batter he faced was a strikeout. He had 13 whiffs total on the night. Like the stuff was still there. The control just wasn't there just because of the weather. And I think the bullpen arms struggled with that for USC too. And that's why Maryland was able to storm back. So I think it's a positive for USC in some sense because you kind of saw the offense come alive. Maximo Martinez hit a home run. They weren't just getting walks, like they were capitalizing when people were on base and they were hitting with runners in scoring position. So I would say it was kind of a almost like a really positive for USC because the offense kind of showed up for them.
Yeah, I felt like it was a good bounce back win too after losing the midweek to Oregon State. And we saw what Oregon State did last night, which we'll talk about. But it's a big win for USC to continue their Big Ten ways. They have to go out there and win Big Ten series, and these road series on the East Coast are going to be tough. Big win to go out there and go get the Friday night game, even though Maryland has been down as of late with bad weather. That's an easy one you could drop and say there's a lot of excuses, but they held on and won that one. So big for them. Coastal Carolina 11, Marshall 9. This is the matchup of number 1, number 2. Coastal stays undefeated in Sun Belt play. Duke 1, Florida State 3. Zach, what a performance by Wes Mendez. He shines again. Florida State holds on. Like Duke has a wild pitch in the 9th to give, or in the 8th to give Florida State another run. But otherwise, this was a 2-1 ball game for most of it.
Yeah, I mean, it just highlights how good the rotation is for Florida State. Mendez has obviously been great. Beard's been great. That pitching staff is going to keep them in every single game. And so then it just comes down to, can they hit enough? And I thought Duke played it really well in terms of being able to keep that lineup quiet most of the night. But yeah, it's just a really another good win for Florida State, and they continue to look like a definitive top 10 team. And, if they're able to continue to push their way up, like this is a team that you do not want to see in a super regional come into the season.
No, if the offense becomes more consistent too, then this is a dominant team. It's I'd say that they're right on the fringe of being a top 5 team. So I think that we have them right at 6 because the pitching staff is elite. It's a top 5 pitching staff right now.
Yeah.
But the hitting has been inconsistent. And at times you're like, oh, that's a top 5 offense. And then at other times you're like, that's not a top 25 offense. Like getting blanked by Florida at the midweek and then putting up only 3 against Duke, who is not wowing people with the arms this year. Like it's not like this is like the best feature of Duke. But a big win there at home. You got to go get those wins, and they did that. So that's a big one. Arizona at UCF. Jared, are we ready to just kind of say Arizona is just cruising through us, cruise control down the rest of the season? 6-11. UCF is now in first place of the Big 12 at 6-1. Williamson, Smith Hill, Crespo all go deep. They just look great, but man, Arizona just can't get out of there. Kramkowski struggled again.
Yeah, I think I think this is kind of not it, but this is kind of the end of the road for Arizona in terms of any kind of postseason or playoff contention. They lost the series at UConn this year. They didn't look good in the Live Like Lou Las Vegas Classic. I mean, they won a game against UC Irvine and Vanderbilt, but lost to Oregon. They got a series win against Fresno State. They lost a series against Utah. They lost a series against Texas Tech. They lose this series against UCF. I'm just like, I don't really know what to make of the Arizona team anymore, other than the fact that they just aren't living up to the expectations coming into the season. Pitching staff was supposed to be so much better than it was, and they're posting a team ERA of 5.43. Gronkowski's got almost a 6 ERA. Smith Bailey's been okay, but he's still nearing a 4 ERA on the season. He's not striking out batters like he was last year. And the offense is not even hitting 270. So your home run leader has 5. They have 22 home runs on the year, and I think Texas State's hit 16 in the last two games that they've played. So not what you want to see from Arizona. Like you lose Brendan Summerhill, you lose Mason White, like 2 of your biggest offensive pieces last year. No one's really stepping up to kind of take that role. Like Tony Lira's been great, but again, he's only got 5 home runs, 7 doubles. He's hitting 379, but you don't have that like massive run producer in that lineup to kind of drive guys in like Mason White was. And so I just don't know what to kind of make of this Arizona team. I think it's kind of be a reset year and try to do it again next year.
Yeah, it feels like the injuries caught up, and then losing guys like Pluta and then Brayfogle out for the season. Also, like you start looking around, some of these guys you're really counting on to be big pieces are not there, and at some point it just is not. And it doesn't get easier. This has been the easy part of their Big 12 schedule, if you want to put it in parentheses, that they should have gone out there and been able to compete at this part of the schedule. It only gets harder for them in Big 12 play, but big ups for UCF. Like the fact is they're in first place in that conference. They're being able to win games in different ways, whether it's pitching side, whether it's hitting side. I'm impressed with this UCF team. They've already gone on the road and won a series at TCU, which is hard to do. I know TCU's down, but listen, that's tough to go win road series like that. And they've been really, really good at home. UCF has been talented at home. So I like where they're heading in the right direction, sitting at first place here in the
They
Big
had that
12.
4-game stretch that was not great there against LSU and Indiana, but ever since then, they've been certainly one of the teams of the class of the Big 12. And if they're able to come out of West Virginia next weekend with a win, they certainly are going to be in contention for top of the Big 12 at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think that early season tournament kind of taught them a lot about themselves. Like they thought they were feeling themselves, and they go lose those, and they're like, okay, now we got to find some pieces. Andrew Williamson is putting himself in that contention to be one of those top players and be one of those top draftees. Like he's been really, really good for this UCF team, and they have one of the best freshmen in the country in Jordan Lodi's at shortstop. Like they have talent across the board in all sorts of ways. Let's talk about TCU really fast. I'm going to jump to that one. They win at home against Texas Tech. They had to win this series. They had to win this Friday night game. They had to start finding the ways to win these games. Sawyer Strassander hits his 10th bomb. They're feeling like they're starting to get a little healthy here, Jared. You look at this TCU team. Do they have enough time to kind of make that comeback here in the Big 12? Like, I know they've already had games against Arizona State and UCF.
Yeah, I mean, they're 3-4 on the season, 15-10 overall. I think this is a team that could come storming back, right? And you win the Big 12 term championship, you're going to be into the playoffs, right? So I don't think this TCU team's one we should be sleeping on. They're full of talent, like from top to bottom. Sawyer Strassander is one of the best players in the entire country. He's only hitting 295 on the season. I think he's like bound to heat up here as well. And I do believe in this team. Like Chase Brunson's one of the most underrated players, I think, in kind of college baseball. They just haven't been living up to the expectations on the offensive side of the ball that you were kind of expecting them to put up big numbers. And it could be because there's just more pressure coming from them as well. So I don't know. Sawyer Strassander's hitting 329 on the season. I was looking at the wrong thing. But yeah, Strassander's been hitting. Colton Griffin's been hitting. Chase Brunson's been hitting. But you're just not getting from the rest of the lineup what you expected. Jack Bell's been okay. Cole Kramer's been kind of and so you just need more. And Lucas Franco, even though he had that super hot start, he's now down to hitting to 220. So you need those guys to kind of step up, especially when you're losing your Friday night ace and everybody's going to get bumped up a little bit. You got a team ERA of 6.72. So not very good. I don't think anybody in this entire rotation's throwing well. So everybody having to move up because of the Lepore injury is not helping them. Like Brassfield all of a sudden having to be the Friday night guy when he was supposed to be the Saturday guy. Lance Davis has been struggling as well. It's just, you need more from this team. Wouldn't count them out yet, but I think, like you said, they got to turn it around quick or else there's going to be some issues here.
The good thing for them is that the middle of this series season gets a little bit easier for them in the Big 12 play. And then they end with West Virginia. They could put themselves in that conversation to be right there and be possible to be right back in the top 4 here for Big 12 and be maybe at the top of it, but they have to keep winning games like this. So putting up the 18 runs, it felt kind of like a get right moment and get it healthy. But they're going to have to win a lot more baseball games for me to say, hey, this is a top 25 team again. Whereas I had them as an Omaha favorite early in the season and before preseason. Like I said, this is a very good team. I still think that they have the talent. They just got to find themselves. And pitching wise, especially if they get Lepore back at the end of the season, like late, if he can come back, that's going to help them out quite a bit. I mean, I know we've talked about things with Coastal, but if Tommy Lepore comes back and gives them an ability to come back in and be part of the weekend rotation, I like TCU again. I think that puts them in a really tough conversation with the rest of the conference. Oregon State at home against Mercer. Mercer was battling, and they hit off Dax Whitney. They hit back-to-back home runs. And Dax, was still great. He still had 9 strikeouts, and he only gave up the 3 hits, which was a single and 2 home runs, and he was really, really good. Mercer had 5 hits as a team, and 4 of them were extra base hits. 3 of them were home runs. Like, they battled in Corvallis, but then the bullpen for Mercer kind of started feeling the Goss faithful, and it got a little loud. Huge RBI double from our guy, Easton Talt, who's been on the show. And then huge double from Bryce Hubbard, who we all know is a huge, highly recruited talent out of Georgia who went to Mississippi State. Big win for them in Corvallis. Oregon State's got to be feeling a lot better. But now we keep having this conversation, Jared, between Oregon State and Oregon. And we said, where do you kind of rank these guys? And I mean, Oregon goes and beats Jackson, Florida on the road. Oregon State struggles, but gets the win at home against Mercer. We know Mercer's good. They have 24 wins or 20-plus wins, only 5 losses in the season. Do you start having that conversation? Like, I know that we have Oregon still ahead of Oregon State. I still have them ahead of Oregon State also with that win against, UCSB and beating Jackson, Florida.
Yeah, and the problem is that Oregon State's always going to have a higher RPI because they play everything on the road. And so I think everybody's going to look at that and they're like, oh, they're 20, 30 spots ahead of Oregon in RPI. But yeah, they're playing road games and they're winning road games. So that plays a role. So, but yeah, I think Oregon State, if they get a series win over this UCSB team, a team we thought about ranking earlier in the season when they were played Southern Miss super tough. Now the offense has kind of trickled off and the pitching staff has been good, but they can only do so much to win games without an offense that's like scoring runs. But I think if Oregon gets that series win, they've played good teams and they've gotten good wins. I mean, you can't fault Oregon at all. And I think their schedule's been, in terms of strength of schedule, has been pretty similar to Oregon State's.
Yeah, and it's just an interesting question. I think it's just a thought experiment right at this point because they do play Oregon State twice more too, and so that'll be fun, kind of that in-state rivalry. But they are both midweek games. I just was taken away from Oregon State last night. I've seen both these teams live. Oregon State continues to battle, and I think that's one thing that you just don't see from a lot of college baseball teams in today's is that they're down. They continue to battle back, and those are the teams that are going to continue to rise up in the top 25. Oregon State firmly puts themselves back in that top 25. And Albert Robles, if you guys have not seen him pitch, it's wicked. Like it's coming Trey Savage over the top, and it's that splinker and fastball combo, and it is tough to hit. And he's been, putting himself right there at the top of the country in saves now. Love that. Let's talk one more mid-major game, and then we'll go into some of the superlatives. ECU at UTSA. ECU wins this one 3-0. Huge start from Norby. When we look at this one, Zach, this is what they needed, and this really kind of puts it in UTSA going, they've kind of made the corner where they're not the team that was in the top 25, but ECU is trying to put themselves back in that conversation saying, hey, we're a good team. We split with North Carolina, who you all say is like a top 10 team. We go out there and we beat UTSA on the road on a Friday, which is what you've been asking Norby to do all season. Have they made that corner? Like the offense is still shaky, but if they can pitch like that,
I don't know that ECU's turned the corner, but certainly they got the performance out of Norby that they've been waiting for all season long. I mean, he's been good, he's been solid, but he has not been Norby of what we saw, right? If he's able to build off of this and go forward, yeah, ECU suddenly is like, okay, we have that Friday night lockdown guy, we have a win, and then they just have to piece it together. And again, for ECU, they haven't been bad; it's been consistency. They haven't either pitched well or hit well, and they haven't done it at the exact same time. And so, I mean, everyone's seen Godwin. He's obviously very frustrated with this team, but I think he sees the potential in it, and it's just unrealized at this moment. So, yeah, maybe this is the start that kind of gets them going. But, yeah, it's Norby's. I love watching him pitch. That immaculate inning was a lot of fun to see.
Yeah, I'm happy to see him going again. I want to see the bats. Like, there's been a lot of conversation. They're back. I'm like, they're not. They're still not hitting like a team that's an ECU team. They're not hitting like a team that's an elite team, a top 25 team. Now, has the pitching been better? It's been better. And the fact is, shutting out UTSA at home is a good one. Like that's a big win on the road there for ECU, and shutting out a UTSA team that's been able to battle with the bats, even though they haven't been able to do as much with the pitching. But you didn't score on the Friday night guy for ECU. They got to go out there and get more runs if they're going to do this thing, which is still a tough weekend series here going forward. Team that looked good, Jared. Who looked good this weekend and made you go, wow, you know what? This is what I wanted to see. Are you muted?
I'm muted. There we go. I have to go Alabama. Depending on how this series ends up, like Alabama looked fantastic against Auburn last week. You have Tyler Fay kind of building off of that no-hitter. I think he only went 5 innings in this one, but still shut out for the most part, or maybe gave up just 1 run against Auburn. I remember you mentioning that Rob Vaughn said, like, once we get our guys healthy, like, watch out. And I think we're kind of starting to see that from this Alabama team. They're starting to click on offense. They got a superstar in Justin LeBron. Brady Neal's been fantastic. Fowler's been fantastic for this offense. And they're starting to click. And so, like, I really think this is the most impressive team for me so far.
The fact is, 4 straight SEC wins. And that's not easy to do. And you're playing some good teams, and to be able to beat a top 5 team at home like that, it's not like they squeezed it. That was a blowout. They beat them up all day. I'm impressed. Now, if they take one more this weekend, it's a top 25 team for me. They've put themselves in that conversation. Zach, who's looked really good and made you just go, yep, that's what we wanted.
So this is going to sound absolutely bananas, but I'm going to go with Texas, actually. They've lost back-to-back Tuesday night games. The bullpen's shaky. They lost the first 2 Friday night games in SEC play. And so it was like, okay, you won game 1 in convincing fashion. Can you put it again together? And what does that look like against a team in Oklahoma that I think is a lot better than the way they've played this weekend? And so it's not, like I said, sounds very homerish, but Texas actually, what they've done this weekend is really impressed.
I would agree. The fact is they won that game 12-0 on Thursday, and you go, okay, Briojas finally gets his win. Like, there's the SEC win that we were looking for him. And then they go out and they figure out a way to win last night, and it doesn't get easier for Oklahoma. For me, the glaring issues, Oklahoma is the offense now has kind of gone completely by the wayside, and it's kind of where we thought, hey, maybe they got enough pitching. Well, the pitching's been good, but it's not enough when they don't score enough runs in the SEC. And Texas is very good, so I don't know if it's fair to say that for Oklahoma because they're facing Texas right now.
Yeah.
But if Texas ends up sweeping this one, I'm with you. That's a huge sweep for them. I'm going to go Kentucky. I know that it's a road win at LSU. Winning at the box on Friday night is never easy.
No.
You go in there, you dominate start to finish. You look like the team that just belongs. They are a top 15 team now, maybe. Like, they're putting themselves in that conversation. You get Tyler Belbeck, who's a top 5 draft prospect. Like, man, and Jackson Jelkin is every bit of a Friday night ace. And now you still got Cleaver going. Like, they still got guys to go the rest of this weekend. The weekend rotation's coming to fruition. They're not having to rely on just small ball. They're doing a lot of little things right. They're playing good pitching, good defense. I really like Kentucky. I like where they're heading, and this is a huge set for them. Now you're looking across the board going, they're high. They're 5-2 in conference play. Like, that's a good start for a Kentucky team. And they lost on the road at Ole Miss. That's going to happen. Ole Miss is good. Like, I don't fault them for that one. But they did take one of those games. But winning at the box, that's huge. So I like that. If Kentucky takes another one, I think that I move them closer to my top 15 than they would be at the 20 spot. Team that didn't look so good. Tell me, Zach, who was like, ooh, they need to figure this thing out. We're halfway into the season.
Honestly, I'm going to go with Arkansas. That lineup just is not impressive in any way, shape, or form.
16 strikeouts.
They've got good pieces, and that's the crazy thing about it. Like, you knew that Helfrich is going to be a dude. You knew that Nui is going to be able to hit. But where's everyone else at? Like, that team is scary to me in terms of, like, I feel like they could drop off a precipice because if the pitching does not continue to be at a top level, they're going to be in trouble.
I feel like I could put the entire lineup in a hat and pull 2 names, and those guys are going to perform, and the rest of the lineup's going to be a question mark that day. And it could be anybody in that lineup. It really could. And it just is not good. But the 16 strikeouts, that's too much swing and miss. Like, that's just really, really rough. I like that call. Jared, who's that team for you?
I was going to say I wanted to steer away from the SEC, but I'm probably going to go back to the SEC. I was going to say West Virginia, but they played Arizona State. But kind of back to our argument of, like, okay, who has West Virginia played? Well, they finally played somebody, and they got absolutely waxed by Arizona State. But I guess my concerns are less there just because of the overall record and things like that. I am going to go with Tennessee. This is a team that has been struggling on offense. They struck out 11 times in 31 at-bats. Levi Clark has been really struggling at the plate. Again, mentioned it earlier in the podcast. Like, I don't know what this Tennessee team is if the offense isn't showing up. Like, we know the pitching staff's good. Arvidsson was fantastic. Coons was fantastic. Rudy was fantastic. Like, everybody was good out of the bullpen for this team yesterday. The offense just needs to find it. And I don't know where they find it, but it's not going to get easier in SEC play. As like Zach mentioned, the schedule gets harder after their LSU series. So that's the team I'm worried about the most right now.
This is a team that doesn't look like they can win 13 SEC games for me right now.
No.
And, we all know that's kind of the magic cutoff line to say that you're in the tournament. I don't know if they get to 13 in conference right now, and they got to figure out something because the pitching is keeping them in ball games, but the offense is not coming through. They had their opportunities last night. They could have won that game in several different ways in several different innings, and they just didn't step up when they needed to. The 2-out hitting's been horrific. They're leaving guys on base when they do get guys on base. It just doesn't feel like a competitive Tennessee team right now. And to lose against your in-state rival like that, 2-3 on the road, that doesn't feel good if you're Tennessee fans trying to figure out ways to win baseball games. I'm going Louisville. I know probably you're going to drive fans crazy that I went Kentucky is good and Louisville's not so. But that's what it comes down to. The fact is, You're at home against a Pitt team, a team that you need to beat. Now, Pitt has been really, really good this year. I'm not faulting Pitt at all. I think they're tremendously talented, but they usually win by hitting, and they beat you 4-3 at your own ballpark. Like, there's no offense there. Finally you get pitching performance, and then there's just no offense from Louisville. They got to figure it out. I don't know if it's going to be team meetings or something, but they're going to have to figure themselves out, because right now this is not a tournament team, and they don't seem like they're making that turn at halfway point here. They've got to figure it out. And this is a team that we had in the top 15 to start the season off. That's how much talent is there, and they just haven't been able to piece it together. So I have big concerns right now for Louisville. And that's a team that I 2 weeks ago said could go back and somehow win the ACC. Now I don't feel the same. Now I'm starting to have really big question marks. Team you're looking forward to watching today. I'll start with you, Jared. What game are you looking forward to?
I think Mississippi State, Ole Miss. I want to see if Ole Miss can get themselves back into this series. I have a feeling they're going to have a hard time, but hey, you're at Swayze. You got the fans in the crowd behind you. Like, Valencius hasn't thrown at Swayze yet, so like it's going to be interesting to see how he handles that environment. So I'm going to go this Ole Miss, Mississippi State, because I really wanted to get evened up at 1, because Sunday will be awesome if that happens.
A lot of young bullpen arms for Mississippi State, and playing at Ole Miss, like, you're a rivalry game in Swayze. It's not super easy. Like, yeah, you've been playing in front of 14,000 fans at home. What's it feel like with 8,000 on the road at Swayze? Like, that ain't easy getting yelled at. So I love that one. Where are we going, Zach? What do you think?
And this one's tough because there's a doubleheader between UNC and Notre Dame today that I think is super intriguing. But I'm very intrigued to see what Georgia Tech's response is from bats.
Yeah.
Like, can NC State continue to hold them off the board and do enough to win? I think that'll be a really exciting game, because I have a feeling that Georgia Tech comes back with a vengeance offensively today.
I think that Georgia Tech puts up a big crooked number today. And if they do that, they're going to walk away with the victory and feel really good about themselves. And NC State's going to be reeling, because at that point, then they've lost 4 straight to ACC teams. But if NC State can win that one, that's why it's a big game. Because if they can figure out a way to beat
for sure,
Georgia
big
Tech,
opportunity.
Tech, yep, I love that one. I did highlight the UNC-Notre Dame, because that's going to be awesome, the doubleheader. We know how hard it is to win any set of a doubleheader. If either one of those teams wins that doubleheader straight up today, they put themselves in a really good spot in ACC. If they split, that's okay to me, because I think that they're both top 20 teams anyway. I think that they're both very good teams. I am much, much, much keeping an eye on this Florida-Arkansas game, because if Arkansas drops another one at home, you're having a different conversation. Like, this is a team that we've had all over the board. We haven't really punished them as much in the top 25 as maybe some people should have. I know I've been pretty hard on Arkansas, and I think that these are the reasons why. But if they go out and they blow out Florida today and they beat Aiden King, then I have to start thinking another way about them. The inconsistency just continues to baffle me. But I think Aiden King shuts his team down again, and I think Florida figures out a way to win again. And a road win at Arkansas is big. All right, boys, we've reached it. We're at the end of our episode here. Any final thoughts you want to share with the folks, Zach?
I'm just looking for a really, really good slate of games today. There's a lot of bounce backs. I mean, you look at Auburn, Alabama, the Mississippi versus Mississippi State, Virginia obviously looking to bounce back. So it'll be a really fun day of baseball. I'm ready to just peel my eyes of watching TV all day long.
Yeah, I got all the devices charged up. I will be in Corvallis. Super excited for that one. Going to be down there for another Mercer game today. I think that just there's so much baseball going on. Can't wait. Jared, what are you excited for today? Any final thoughts?
Final thought is, sorry, LSU fans, that you lost Ryan Costello to Maryland. He's got an 1133 OPS, and his 11 home runs went yard again yesterday. Sorry about it. You got Zach York instead, but you could have had Ryan Costello because he was already in your program. Yeah, Ryan Costello's been awesome, and that Maryland program's been struggling, but he has been absolutely incredible this year for the Terps. Just launching baseballs. He's got more walks than he has strikeouts too. So
impressive.
Pretty good. And he's technically a freshman, quote unquote, because he didn't play last year.
Yeah. Costello, and you could even throw it in for like the Brady Neals of the world too, that are no longer there. Like man, looking around going, wish you could have held on to some of those guys with the
Ashton Larson.
Woes. Yeah, Ashton Larson. Like there's some woes out there. I just want to say, guys, go out and enjoy college baseball. If your team has been eliminated now in March Madness, which most of you aren't even watching anymore, freaking have a day, boys. Like, it's college baseball season. So much great games coast to coast. Go out there and enjoy college baseball. Thanks for joining us live again. We will be live Monday night with the Top 25 show again. And Thursday, Zach, thanks for coming on the Saturday show. Great to have you, man. Jared, good to see you again. We'll see all you fans on Monday night.
Absolutely.